Hello and welcome. Today, for my fifth process video, I'm going to be scrapbooking a picture that I took at our last family game night. And I knew that I wanted to use some bright and colorful paper. So I pulled these out. I thought they'd be a good fit to go with this black and white photo of our game table and then 4 scorecards from our last game. I knew I wanted to include that memorabilia on the page in a vertical strip that my photo would rest on. So here I'm just kind of figuring out which paper is going to look best. I end up going with that that Hello Darling paper from the We Are Memory Keepers collection. Here are some other supplies that I pulled out to use. Some thickers, really old brads, phrase stickers, chipboard, washi tape. I'll be sure to name each one in the description below. So I'm going to go ahead and get the branding strip off of these papers. I thought on the black and white Amy Tangerine paper that I wanted to use the branding strip, but I end up not. Originally I wanted to use white cardstock, but then I found this other confetti kind of dot paper from the same Hello Darling collection, and I thought I might want to use that as a background, but I'm indicating there that I didn't really like the dot on dot pattern. So while I'm thinking about that, I'm going to go ahead and get this colorful chevron piece down to the size that it's going to be on the layout. So I'm just kind of staging things to see if I really want to use that polka dot paper, and I end up fidgeting with that branding strip a lot and it doesn't make it. But I decided to go ahead and just use the white cardstock, which is a stretch for me. I really use exclusively pattern paper, but I like how it came out. So here I'm looking at how I'm going to get my journaling down on here. So those are just some labels from an older Dear Lizzy collection. It's Polka Dot Party, I think. And I opt for the gray and white box. That's going to stay underneath the photo. So I'm going to go ahead and get the white cardstock trimmed down. I take off a 1/2 inch from 2 sides of the paper, so that'll leave me with a 1/4 inch border around the whole layout. And then you'll see that I forgot to take out the center of the black and white dot paper, which breaks my heart. I love a good polka dot, so I'm really bummed that I didn't take the center out. I normally would, but it is what it is. I'm sure there'll be plenty more black and white dot papers in my future. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this down. The title of the page is Farkle, and it's such a ridiculous, silly name that I don't end up, I keep things kind of askew. I'm putting everything at an angle, including the scorecards and my title. I didn't want everything to be too linear. So I'm going to just get things placed down, and then as I'm trying to make that aqua and black diagonal stripe paper work, I realized that I didn't map my photo on anything, which I always do. So I pulled out some more of those papers from the Hello Darling collection to see what I want to use, and I ended up going with that really pretty deep teal color. And I just put a really thin border around it. And I thought this was funny. I grabbed my scissors initially, and I thought, nope, go get the paper trimmer. I don't have very good scissor skills, and I knew I wouldn't be able to get that straight or even. So I'm going to go ahead and get the photo down and then figure out my title. I had narrowed down my options to 3 different fonts, and it's really, I think it's also comical here that I have my wax paper off to the right and I just go for it and put those stickers down onto my photo. And I end up trying to figure out which one I like best. So it's between those white and gold Amy Tangerine stickers from Horizon Shine collection, an older set from Recollections, the black ones, and then those transparent aqua stickers also from Amy Tangerine. What I do typically when I can't figure things out like that is I move on to something else. So I knew that I wanted black and white die cuts on my layout, so I'm using some stamps. This is a Jelly Bean Soup speech bubble, and stamping that on some white cardstock. When I went to stamp off the excess ink, I realized that I like the 2nd generation stamp much better, the lighter gray shade. So I go ahead and stamp that again. And then I'm also going to use 2 camera images from my A Beautiful Messy Box subscription. One is the outline of the camera, and then the other is the interior of the camera. So theoretically, you could stamp it in 2 different colors, which I think I'm going to do in the future. I think that'll be really cute, and it's easy to cut out. There aren't many details. My scissor skills, like I said, are limited, so I can go ahead and get those cut out, and I go back to the title one more time just to figure out what I think I want to use. I do like the way that those thickers look, the white ones, but I think I wanted something a little heavier, so I end up going with the black ones. And that's how this layout is going to look towards the end. So I'm going through some of the embellishments I had pulled out. I really like that thumbs up washi tape from Studio Calico, and it's black and white, so I thought it fit well. I layer it underneath the title there, and like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put the letters down a little crooked, which I usually don't do. I like things to look nice and neat and straight. So after I get those down, then I'm going to go ahead and figure out maybe a little more where I want those die cuts to live. So the camera stays up top, and then I end up putting some foam dots underneath the speech bubble that says "Love This." And I'm going to swap that out towards the end for the gray speech bubble instead. I just thought that the 2 blacks next to each other, it was just a little too heavy there. Next, I pull out my phrase stickers from Amy Tangerine's Rise and Shine collection, and I've been using those a lot. I really like them. I end up going with Oh Yes and Fun Fun Fun. And then I also pulled out the A Beautiful Mess phrase stickers, but I couldn't really find a sentiment that I liked, so I nixed those. So here I am swapping out that die cut, and I like the way that it looks much better. I'm glad that I did that. I ended up second guessing myself a lot on this layout, and I think I did this over a span of 2 days. So I'm going to go ahead and put the camera up top on foam dots too, just to pop that up. And then I'm creating a cluster with that camera, so I'm going to put those phrase stickers up there too. And I'm going to add enamel dots up there, which is where I struggled. So I pull out this chipboard, also from A Beautiful Mess, and I want to use those 2 chartreuse colored triangles to point to my journaling. So I kind of place those down and pull out the enamel dots as I'm thinking about where I want them to stay. So the 3 enamel dots that I used are from the Dear Lizzy Daydreamer collection, those right there. And then I'm also going to use the second pack that I pull out is from A Beautiful Mess. I think it's from their June kit. And then you'll see the third one soon. Okay, those are the Messy Box enamel dots. And then I also use the Studio Calico Color Theory dots also. I love those. I bought every single color that they had, and they're still going strong. So here I start putting them down up at the top, and I spent way too much time on this. I think it was because I ended up putting 6 or 7 up there, and I usually only do 3 in any one area, so I think that's why I struggled with it. And sorry about that baby monitor up there, it stays there for a while. Okay, so then as I'm thinking about that, I move on to the journaling. And so this page is about how we've been spending our time lately, going over to my in-laws and playing games. The journaling says, instead of watching TV or burying our faces in our phones, we play games at the old folks' home. Pinochle, Farkle, Hand and Foot, Casino, Nerds, you name it. I love going to Can Richards for dinner, family time, and a very competitive game. Owen watches intently from his high chair or feigns boredom for a chance to get in on the action from Grandma's lap. Heart these times. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my Dear Lizzy date stamp at the end. I think it's really important to document how you're spending your time, you know, in addition to the special events and, you know, people's faces. I think it's going to be really cool to look back at this, you know, in 5 or 10 or 15 years and, you know, have this snapshot of how we were spending our time going over to my in-laws, you know, up to 3 nights a week just to hang out with them and so they could see their grandson. Next, I'm going to use that other camera die cut, and I'm going to place one of the enamel dots in the lens. I inadvertently made a triangle around my photo. I'm pointing out there that I wanted something on the bottom right of the layout to kind of tie in that corner. I thought that all of the action was up in the top left, and I wanted something on the other side of the page. So I'm pulling out that label stamp from my mind's eye. I think I got it at a Joann Fabrics or something. And I'm going to go ahead and use that to write down the basics of this game, Farkle. It's a dice game, and I didn't really have any other journaling that I wanted to add, so I thought it would be cool just to get, you know, the basics of the game down. I wanted to use some more pattern paper so it could, you know, tie into the other part of the layout, but I wanted 2 specific colors to show through. I wanted that teal color and also the purple, so to anchor that label. So I go ahead and get that down, and then I cut off the bottom corner of the bottom quarter of that label. And I didn't quite get my wording spaced out right, and I ran out of room. But fortunately, because it's a stamp, you know, I could keep redoing it as much as I needed to get it right. So I go ahead and get that cut out and trimmed, and then I rewrite my journaling. I think that makes it a little easier for me to know that if I mess up, instead of only having one shot, you know, to do it on a prepackaged die cut, I can just do it on, I can keep doing it as many times as I need on a stamp. So then I pull out those enamel dots again. I'm using the same ones, and I wanted to, I think I put 3 down here, but I had just as much trouble figuring out where they would go. And I think I even changed it after the final image here. So once I get those down, that's it. Here's a look at my finished layout. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment below. If you have any other game suggestions, I'm all ears. If you have any cool games that you think we should be playing, please leave those in the comments below. If you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time.